Hey there, I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, your pet's ally. I am sorry, but we're having to kind of switch up the link for where the broadcast is going to happen today. So let me drop that in here. Again, I dropped my computer and that didn't work out so well. So let's see here if we can do this. Save that. And I think that's about as good as I get. Let me drop it to Hannah too, so she will be able to Anyway, so I hope that you are all doing really great today, and I apologize for things being a little bumpy, but that's what happens when technology bites you in the butt. We've got a few questions today, which is wonderful. So the first one is from Kathy, and she has started Daisy and Dottie on their reintroduction diet this week with 3 tablespoons of beef. So Daisy is the one that had had the history of throwing up bile, has been fine so far, but on day 4, Dottie threw up yellow bile on their morning walk before breakfast. But it could have been a one-off situation or even the phytospore, and she took her off of both of them. And since she stopped them, then no more problems. So, Kathy, I think you're exactly right, and I think what it is a matter of dose. So the phytospore by itself was not enough beef to create a problem, but when you fed some beef on top of that, that's when that created that problem. So my guess is that you will be able to use phytospore, but you just can't feed Daisy any beef. So Dottie, yes, I would definitely. So write that down so you've got, you can remember what happened, and then I think your next thing to try is turkey or chicken. Once you know that Daisy is for real, good to go with beef. And then got some questions, some pictures of Mr. Willie having a pretty decent day, although he is not having a very good time with the chemotherapy. So he is seeing improvement as far as things are drying up a little bit, but the side effects from the chemotherapy itself was not so good. As far as things to help with nausea, definitely some ginger. You can try a ginger tea as well and mix that in with food if he's still eating. And then he's also been peeing a lot again, and probably this is from the prednisone. And that's yuck. I just don't know what to tell you on that one. And then the other thing she's seeing is, trying to talk about using metronomic chemotherapy and a few other things. And I'm sorry, I don't think I got the comments on. Let's see if I can figure this out. There we go. That's easy. Good. So just in case you guys have got some questions. so she's trying to figure out what to do with chemotherapy. And doxorubicin definitely is a little harder to handle. There is just no two ways about that. But, you know, you're kind of coming up to that point, Jamie, I think, and you know that, I think you know this as well. It's like, okay, where do we draw the line? Do we try everything and see how it goes? Or do we say that I'm unwilling to take further risk and create more problems for him than what he is experiencing currently? And doxorubicin is a tough one. It can have some pretty profound side effects. Generally, you know, the way it goes is it's more of a cumulative thing. So the first couple of doses, not a problem, but then later that's where the problems can potentially come in. And the even more frustrating thing is that there's really not a clear way to predict who's going to respond positively to it and who's going to respond negatively. The only good thing you have in your favor is that gene test that said that he should not experience difficulties with doxorubicin. So that's tough. And there's not a clear answer. And May commented like that his eyes are saying to her, what the heck is going on in my body? And yeah, and I think, yeah, I'm sending them some positive vibes out there. And then on Facebook, I posted the link to that energy clearing technique I shared with Ipets Ally Ultimate folks, and I will drop it back here in the comments as well. I apologize. I'm kind of, although thankfully I don't think you have to see my confusion of switching between windows. So here's that energy clearing technique, and so that's something you can do at home by yourself, and I think that helps quite a bit when we can kind of focus clear, easy energy for Willie and help him clear as much of his difficult burden as possible. And then, Jamie, I don't think you'll mind me sharing this. I think you sent an email over. And so there's a lot of conflicting information about CBD and THC for cancer treatment. And there's no wonder you are confused, because I think a lot of it is we don't really know. So again, I think you're at that point where you do what you think you can for him, because frankly on the Western side you are running out of options. Now I'm supposed to talk with the folks at CBD Dog Health this week, and so I'll ask them, but they sent me over a protocol that they're using for one of their own dogs for osteosarcoma, and so far so good. And so I'll send you some of that information over, and also you know, some other supplements that they're utilizing as well. So again, I don't think there's a problem with you using CBD, and I don't think there's a problem with you using, excuse me, 0.5 milligram, 0.5 milligrams of THC. If nothing else, it will help with the malaise. I mean, because he's got to be feeling pretty crappy. And I think that's what May is picking up on, and that's kind of what I'm seeing too. He's just like, I feel better, but it still is not great. So I think that is totally reasonable to use. Will it diminish the effect of the chemotherapy? I don't think so. I have not seen a lot of evidence to say that would be the case. So I think that you are safe to do that. If nothing else, it'll help him feel better. I don't think it diminished the effect of the Relabine. I think I said that right. Vinorelbine, close but not quite. So I think THC certainly will not inhibit the effect. And I think what you're going to find is, because I mean, in any state where it is legal, or whether that's medical or recreational, there are oncologists that will say, yeah, take it if you feel crappy. And this is also where acupuncture may be helpful, but you guys are doing so much, and I cannot even begin to imagine the amount of money you've been through trying to get him helped. So what I would suggest is go for the THC. The CBD. So here's another interesting thing. Are you all familiar with something called the sway test? So it's and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the guy that kind of popularized this, but essentially you can, learn how to trust your own energy to make decisions, and you can use that for Willie. So, some people will do it with fingers, like, my name is Ruth. My name is Ruth. So you go, see, the idea is that you're going to use force to break the link. And, you're not holding it down, but you're going to ask yourself a couple of verification questions, for lack of a better word. So, my name is Ruth. My name is Mary Jo. My name is Ruth. My name is Mary Jo. So you want to kind of be able to code in. Hio is a dog. Hio is a cat. So that's what I'm saying about verification, like you've got the link in, if you will. So then we can say something like, Willie has cancer. Willie does not have cancer. Willie will do okay with doxorubicin. Willie will not do okay with doxorubicin. So that may be, and this is it. I mean, this I think is a good guide, but try it yourself. So Willie is not responding to the current chemotherapy. Willie is not responding completely to the chemotherapy. Willie is responding somewhat, but it won't be enough to make a difference. So maybe that's true. And so will THC help Willie? Yeah. Will CBD help Willie? Yeah. Will CBD reduce the effect of the chemotherapy? Will THC reduce the effect of chemotherapy? Is there something else on the horizon in Western meds that will help Willie? Maybe. And so this is where I think you can, get a little confidence. I guess Hio needs to help me, sorry. So this is where you can get some confidence as far as what's going to be helpful. And sometimes this is where, people of different faiths, so this is where people will pray about things and get a download. This is where, and I said the sway test originally because what I often will do is stand up and be really flat on my feet, and then start asking questions. And for me, often that is more effective than this finger technique, although I'm using that more frequently because it's convenient while you're sitting and talking. But it takes a little bit of time to sort of drop in, to tune in, so to speak. But I think that YouTube video I sent you with the clearing energy technique, that's a good place to start. And that will help both kind of calm your energy and calm Willie's energy as well. And let me see if I can find the name of that book for you while we're sitting here talking. Yeah, the sway test. So these are all things you can definitely try and see if that's help. I'm going to try and find a good video, and here's one. And I apologize, I cannot remember the dude's book, but he's a chiropractor, and he helped develop this technique a little bit further, and he gives credit to kind of where credit is due. But he, it's been very helpful for me is trying to figure things out, because in my own in my own in my own search to get well, it's been useful. And if I am not connected and not grounded, it doesn't work. I can guarantee you that. So I work hard every day to make sure I can clear as much garbage out of here as possible. So that's something that I think you all will be interested in, and I'll be doing some more videos on Ipets Ultimate. So this coming Tuesday, I think it is what I'll be doing is a lecture on CBD, and the folks at CBD Dog Health are going to help me with that. So that's going to be Tuesday, the 27th at 4 o'clock Mountain. So as I said, any of you that are Ipets Ally Basic members, you have won the jackpot. We're upgrading everybody to Ultimate. We're going to make it all one level. So we'll send everybody an invite out to that this month. We've got a little bit more information coming along with it too. But you can check that out. There's some more of the science about CBD and how it works, how it can be helpful. And I will do my best to dig up a little bit more information on what we might be able to do for Mr. Willie. Now, they are big proponents of raw diet. So 0.233 milligrams per drop. So indica, theoretically, and a lot of people are saying now there's no difference between indica and sativa. When I was in college, it was like, whoa, man, it's like sativa. It's supposed to be. So the theory is that indica is more of a body, more supportive of the body, and sativa is more of a energetic high, if you will. But again, at this dose, you may see a little bit of high, but mostly what we're after is getting the getting receptors filled with CBD1, CBD2, and other receptors filled. And so what I would do is try them both, see what he does better with. At 0.33 milligrams per drop, I would start with one drop so you're clear what the effect is for him. So again, for me, if I take CBD, 1 milligram of CBD knocks me on my butt for 36 hours. So try one drop, see how that is for him. He's big enough that 2 drops should be okay, and in fact, the dose may end up being 1 milligram, or maybe 1.5 milligrams, or something of that nature. But try them both, see what you think. And again, you can play around with sway testing and see how it bears out for Willie. I think at that dose, there's no harm that's going to come. And May, I apologize, I missed your question earlier on the Crockpet group. We are not sure why you are not getting emails. So Hannah is about the announcements about when the groups are. So Hannah is working on that. And then you've got a question about CBD dog health as well. Their Ease product does have 2 essential oils in it, frankincense and myrrh, and you want to rotate it. And so I think you've done exactly the right thing. So what I would suggest is use the Heal product as you surmise, so because it has no essential oils in it, but don't use it at that high dose. So do use it at the dose you've been using for the Ease, which I think is about 10 milligrams. And so literally, it's going to go quite a ways for you. So try that. That way you can rotate them off of the essential oils for a little bit and then kind of come back in. And what I found too with Chinese herbal formulas that contained frankincense and myrrh is that they would work really, really well for a while, and then they didn't work anymore. And that's, I think, what happens is the body acclimates to things, and so there you go. So I would use the Heal product as your sort of shuffle off, but again, still use it at that 10 milligram dose. So I think that is all that I have for you today. I will just double check here. Oh, Catherine had asked about diarrhea. I think I got this answered last week, but I am not dead sure. So RX Clay is always a good choice. And you can always, yeah, I did answer this. You can always offer things like not feeding, and sometimes just by not giving anything in there and letting the gut rest, that actually will help make things feel better. So, and I found that myself, it's just tough. So that is truly all that I have for you this week. And Hannah put a link in there for homemade lotion bars. So for those of you with pets with really dry noses or elbows or something like that, this has been great. We've been traveling with these for probably 2 years now since we've been out west, and they work really great for us. And they seem to help prevent windburn as well. So, and golly, and I'm looking at this video when I had really had so much bloating, I was really chunky. So there you go, me at my chunkiest. So until next week, take good care of yourself, and give everybody a big hug for me, especially Mr. Willie. And I hope that you get some good news, Jamie, and some help. Anyway, take good care. Thanks.